Notre Dame recruiting fans, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad Hughesby. National Signing Day wrapped up yesterday. Notre Dame capping off a very impressive 2022 class. Um, Today, I'll be going through 1 through 21, who are my favorites, who are some underrated guys, who will play right away. Just going through the list. I have a personal set of rankings ready for you guys. Number one, you're watching him on screen right now, Jalen Sneed. 5-star linebacker from the state of South Carolina, Myrtle Beach to be specific. It's a place Notre Dame doesn't go often, but they've gone there before. Troy Pride, as well as a few others. Sneed is a versatile guy. Reminds me a ton of Jeremiah Usu-Karamoa, but was better in high school. Usu-Karamoa came from the South as well, Southern Virginia Beach to be specific, and they both play the game very similarly, similar stature, whatever, weight, athleticism, but I think Sneed just does things a little bit better at this stage. But we all know how Usu-Karamoa ended up. He's now starting for the Cleveland Browns in the NFL as a rookie. So if Sneed can do that, boy, that'd be something special. So we'll see, but Sneed's my number one recruit. I think he's a star. Next, we have Eli Raridon. I would not have him this high before his senior season started, but he had one hell of a season. Put up some monster stats, and is looking really good on the basketball court as well. Raridon just has all the athleticism, the size, the intangibles, and the skill to show why he's the number 2 recruit in this class, in my opinion, of course, but really, really like Eli Raridon. Jadarian Price is next at number 3. Jadarian Price comes from deep in Texas, and he had one hell of a senior season, put up some crazy stats, rushed for multiple touchdowns a game, pretty much a couple hundred yards. He looked phenomenal. I'm very, very excited for him. Fabulous young man. I'm so excited that Jadarian Price is in this class. Most underrated player, in my opinion. Next is Tobias Merriweather at 4. You only had one wide receiver, but the one you landed is a star. I have Merriweather over C.J. Williams, and I do have him over Moran Walker, just in my personal rankings, regardless of if those guys ended up in the class. For anyone wondering, too, Moran Walker flipped to Michigan. I think everyone knows that, but C.J. Williams is still unsigned. People thought he would sign with USC on Wednesday. He did not do that, so something to keep an eye on. Did not sign with them today either, as I make this on Thursday, December 16th. He only has one day before the early signing period, so just keep that in note. But yeah, Merriweather, star, track athlete, football player. I really, really like his future. Emil Wagner is at 5. Honestly, I'll be completely honest, guys. 5 through 10, 11, 12, 13 are kind of the same. I'll be brutally honest with you, but Emil Wagner, I just think, has some freak upside. Very, very good student, very humble kid, but wow. He's dominating dudes at 265, 270 pounds in one of the best leagues in the country in Ohio. He's a very, very good basketball player as well. I believe he's an early enrollee, so you're going to get to see him early. They'll put some weight on him, hopefully try to get him up to 295, 300, 305, but very, very good player. He's just so athletic, moves so well. His older brother played basketball at the University of Kentucky, so you're gonna you have the genes. So I don't know. I'm excited for Wagner. He has some freak upside. Next, we have Billy Scrouth, recent commit offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman. I think he projects at the next level. He's only 6'5", as I say, only 6'5". It's still freakishly tall. But Scrouth is a really, really solid player. I love what he brings. I don't think he's fully complete as a player yet either, compared to some of these other guys that I'll list later in the video that aren't as high up. But Scrouth I really like. Ty Chan is next. Ty Chan doesn't play in the most competitive league up in the Northeast, but Penn State and Boston College weren't making a late run at him for nothing. I think he's going to show all he has to offer at the All-American game when he goes down. Under Armour All-American game, I believe he's committed to in January. I think he's a very good player. Notre Dame saw that early. Really likes what Notre Dame has to offer. I love Ty Chan. Next is Joey Tanona. Yes, this is the 4th offensive lineman in a row. Tanona's actually just off of 5-star range, according to On3, the new football recruiting database. Don't have him that high, but Tanona is a very, very solid player. Has dominated players in Indiana. Not the most competitively, yes, but he's gonna do big things. I think he's a future starter, if not NFL starter. And this offensive line class is definitely the best, if not one of the best all time, in my opinion. It's definitely better than last year's. Of course, you got Rocco, Alt, and Fisher, but I think this class legitimately has 5 starters, 5 Power 5 Division I starters, with Craig, Tanona, Wagner, Scrouth, and Chan. Next, number 9, we'll head to the linebacker room. Second linebacker I've pointed out in this video, not the last, and that's Joshua Burnham. Joshua Burnham, 6'4", I believe he's up to 225, 230, from Northern Michigan, Traverse City. This looked like Michigan's recruitment to lose, but Marcus Freeman came in, stepped up, and did what he does. He won this recruitment for the Irish 100%. And yeah, I'm fired up for Burnham's potential. I think he's a very, very good player. And yeah, I love Joshua Burnham. Next, Jaden Mickey, 4-star corner from Centennial High School in California, was throwing some shade at CJ Williams, and CJ Williams decommitted. I'm not going to lie. They've done their battles in the Trinity League multiple times over the past few years, and Mickey hasn't done too bad against him. So Jaden Mickey, love what he brings to the table. I think he's a top 150 or 200 player. Sucks that Devin Moore got away, because I think Devin Moore would also be in this top 10. We only have one DB. DBs and wide receivers are what you need. We only have one of each. So if you're a Notre Dame fan, you can't love that, but maybe they'll strike something with Omar Cooper, or I don't know, somebody else. We'll see. But it is what it is. We head to number 11 as I pull up Nolan Ziegler's huddle film. 17 minutes, by the way. Shout out Nolan Ziegler. Most people only make 5 to 10 minute videos. Ziegler made it a 17. Nolan Ziegler, is actually number 11. Longtime Notre Dame commit, was the second in the class of 2022 behind Joey Tanona. Both committed last summer. Ziegler's grandfather played for the Irish. He was pretty much locked up when he got the offer. This is actually against Drake Bowen's high school, by the way, Andrian, when they played each other. I believe Nolan Ziegler's squad won pretty handily. 6'3", 6'4" as well. Had some good weight. I believe he's an early enrollee too. Very excited for his future. I think he's going to be a star. Just like the offensive line, I think all 4 linebackers are Power 5 starters, if not NFL starters. To have everybody in the class go be an NFL starter is a lot to say. So will that happen? Probably not. But especially guys like Burnham, Ziegler, and Snead, I really think could be big-time players at the next level. He reminds me a lot of Drew Tranquil. Aiden Gobiara, I have at number 12. Gobiara just plays with such a high motor. You wouldn't expect somebody from Northern Virginia who's a white kid, doesn't play the best competition. His film is nuts. He just destroys everything I originally thought about him before I popped on the phone. I go, Penn State Notre Dame battle, none of the big SEC powers. This isn't a huge recruitment. But then you pop on the film, wow, he is just incredible. Aiden Gobiara has just an intensity with the way he plays, can get off blocks incredibly effectively and easily, can rush the passer, uses multiple different techniques. He's a star. I wish I was playing his film right now, but Aiden Gobiara is definitely a top 12 player in this class, if not higher. Next, we head to 13, and we head to St. Louis, Missouri. Tyson Ford, another one of the somewhat early commits, committed in January. This was a very interesting recruitment. Tyson Ford was seen as an Oklahoma lean, but one night, reportedly in his bed, he went through all the pros and cons, couldn't fall asleep, and he said, why not Notre Dame? The thought was right after he committed, he was going to take some visits, look around. He wasn't 100% locked in, but that changed. Thanks to Marcus Freeman, sold him and his family, and they could not be more fired up about Notre Dame. Tyson Ford, I want to note, I believe he's the only Notre Dame commit whose team did not go 500 in their season. His team went 2-4. Plays some good competition down in St. Louis, but his team is not the best. So that's just something to note. But Tyson Ford, I really like. He has all the measurables, 6'5", 250, 260. Probably going to play strong side defensive end. Could honestly move into a defensive tackle, nose tackle type role, but we'll see what happens. Still really like Tyson Ford as a player. Next, at 14, Nuwafe Tuhulimaka. Tuhulimaka committed to USC originally. He was committed there for about a year, I believe. He was an early commit to the Trojans, but backed off that pledge and could not be more locked in with Notre Dame. Signed his national letter of intent, of course, and he was a big recruiter for the Irish. Took some visits to Texas as well as USC again in June, but he was locked up after that South Bend official on the June 18th through 20th weekend, I believe, is when he came down, and very, very fired up for the future of him. And I think he's going to do some big things. He's a bigger linebacker. I don't like him as much as I like Ziegler, Burnham, and Snead, but I still like him. Want to make that clear with all these guys towards the back end, especially because Notre Dame isn't taking just nobodies. They're only taking guys that they think can contribute. And next is a guy who I have higher than some other people, Donovan Heinisch. I have him at 16. Could he have him even higher? I think he's better than his big brother, at least at their stage. Their coaches had the same. Donovan Heinisch, honestly, guys, Kurt Heinisch, probably 6th, 7th undrafted type NFL player. That's still incredibly impressive. Has started for 3 years at Notre Dame. And he's just done some very good things. He's been the anchor of that defense, him and Myron Tagovailoa-Amosa. So, yeah, really, really like what Donovan Heinisch brings to the table. I'm super pumped up for his future in South Bend. Next, Jaden Bellamy. I have him at number 16. He's the teammate of Steve Angeli, who's just a little bit lower down this list. But I really, really like what Jaden Bellamy brings to the table. Has the size, the athleticism, can play corner, safety, honestly, at the next level. Just needs to put on a few more pounds. He's pretty slim, only at 165, 170. But Jaden Bellamy, I think, is going to be a star. Notre Dame coaches are fired up. Mike Mickens, I know, just loves this kid. So that's always good when your positions coach is fired up about you and wants to make that known. So, yeah, this is definitely a guy who I think could surpass his ranking that I'm giving him. But like I said, this class is just so loaded. They only have one 5-star, and that's the last 5-star in the 247 composite at Jalen Snead at number 35 overall. But these guys, they're just stacked from the top down. After Snead, you get a little bit of a drop, but from there on, these guys are all top 450 players in the country, in my opinion. Some of them are not ranked that according to the composite. I think Ashton Craig is in the low 500s. Same with Donovan Heinisch, but yeah, very impressive. Next, we have Ashton Craig, number 17, star basketball player, football player as well. He put on some major weight during quarantine, and that served him well. He just had a phenomenal junior season, great senior season, but the thing that still Notre Dame was bringing him on campus, seeing him in person, work out live. He did that in June, and the staff was fired up about him. They offered him a few weeks later before his official visit. He committed on that visit that Saturday to Brian Kelly and company. They were fired up. I think he's a very good player. At first, I was a little skeptical. They had Zach Rice still on the board, a few other guys, but I think you needed 5 offensive linemen in this class, and they got it with Ashton Craig, who's a very quality player. Probably a center or offensive guard at the next level, by the way. Played offensive tackle for his high school. Next, number 18, Steve Angeli, the quarterback commit. Angeli, I like him a lot. Ohio State offered him young. Penn State was also on his offer list, I believe. Miami, Stanford, few other schools around the country, but I think this one's was Notre Dame to lose. Angeli is going to be a big-time player in South Bend, I think, if he gets on the field, but I'm not sure if he will. Notre Dame's looking very good for a few 2023 quarterbacks. Christopher Vizina, Jackson Arnold, Dante Moore, Avery Johnson, Nico Iamaliva. So I think those guys are all better than Angeli at the next level. Maybe not Avery Johnson, but yeah. I mean, you got a lot of talented guys in the room, but very good to have a backup like this. And if he comes in the game, he still has all the tools and traits to dominate. So I don't have him last. I know some people probably have him last. They said, I wish we were to go out for the bigger fish, whatever, talk to guys like Klubnik or Devin Brown, Walker Howard. I wish we got him. Hey, Steve Angeli is a very solid player. Number 19, we have Benjamin Morrison, the cornerback from Brophy College Prep in Phoenix, Arizona. Benjamin Morrison was seen as a Wisconsin lean for a little over a couple weeks there in the middle of the summer, late June, early July, and then everything flipped. I actually saw that he was a silent commitment to Benjamin Morrison, or to Washington, excuse me. I cannot confirm that, but saw that somewhere. That's very interesting. Similar to the Billy Strauss situation, it was kind of all of a sudden Notre Dame was in the driver's seat of that recruitment. I also saw that he was a take for Alabama, so haven't done a ton of inside research on this recruitment, but just looking back on this class, you'd like to look back at their recruitments occasionally, and Benjamin Morrison's was one I read back up on these past couple days, and I was like, wow. So Benjamin Morrison, definitely solid player. I agree with his 4-star composite ranking according to 247 Sports. That's all I have to say on Benjamin Morrison. Number 20, some people might not agree with this, Holden Stays. I like Rodon a lot more. I think Stays is a very solid player, but I do not have him in the top 10 or 15 as he is ranked in the composite according to the class. Plays good competition, gets double teamed a lot, so I really haven't seen a ton of him. His highlights don't really pop at you, but the athleticism's there. Plays basketball as well. Bunch of big-time schools have offered: Alabama, Texas, North Carolina, Penn State. Was a former Penn State commit actually early in the process. Committed during quarantine, I believe. But yeah, interesting recruitment for sure. Stays is going to be a good player. Finally, Bryce McPherson. Yes, I know I put the punter last, as everybody would always do. But in all honesty, Bryce McPherson, I think, is going to be an NFL punter one day. Jay Bramlett, current Notre Dame punter, who, yes, I do believe he will transfer to one of the SEC schools, Alabama or Auburn, maybe Ole Miss, something like that. Whoever needs a punter, honestly. But Jay Bramlett has done some amazing things in South Bend. Out of high school, he was not regarded nearly as highly as Bryce McPherson. According to Chris Saylor, who's the punting and kicking guru across the country, very highly respected, Bryce McPherson is without a doubt his number one punter. Very impressive. He said Jay Bramlett was number one as well in his respective class, which I believe was 2019, maybe 2018. But he said McPherson was better. He's better leg strength, whatever. Just as athletic, everyone knows about Jay Bramlett playing quarterback in high school as well. Had that huge play against Duke in the first game of the 2020 COVID season. And McPherson, all one state for wrestling for his weight class in the state of North Carolina. So, yeah, incredibly impressive. Multi-sport athlete, plays track as well. So, love it. Love the punting. Love the punter commitment. Does this signal Jay Bramlett leaving, though? Probably. But, guys, that's all I have. Long video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment if you have any recruiting questions. I will try my best to comment and respond to you guys. And that's it. Peace.